What types of visions of change do you have for the future of this great country? Maybe this hoverboard, or the time machine next to it, or what will soon replace the phone. Well, many see changes in technology, advanced medicines, architectural and cultural changes, maybe even lower gas prices. Well, what if I said many of these wouldn't be possible? The reason I say this is because in order for change to be possible, people must be able to create change, and many cannot create change with a low education.
Our education has lost its quality over the many years, and now it is starting to affect the students trying to make use of it. According to the website studentsfirst.org, our children are not reading at grade level. I know many of you are probably wondering, why should I care? Well, you should care because we students are not receiving the proper high-quality education that was promised to us. Now, we're not going to force you to believe in something you don't want to, but you must realize that without a proper education, you cannot fulfill the dreams and goals you have set in place for yourself. The education you decide to take in is a huge game changer for your future. And right now, like the people receiving a low education, your future is not looking too bright.
The education in the US is not advanced as many think. How is this possible with technology being more advanced and teachers being taught more modern techniques of education, you ask? Well, that may be true, but the US isn't even on the list of the top 10 best education systems in the world. That's right. After much research, we found that it'd be maybe the 24th. And, well, a country that is said to be one of the most developed and most advanced countries in the world, why is the education level so low? Yet another country that is said to be struggling and called undeveloped has the #1 education system in the whole world. With this being said, we began to question the modern US education system. With a country so advanced, why can't the education level be higher? After doing more research at DoSomething.org, we discovered that the US also isn't on the top 10 list of highest high school graduation rates. It only has 80% graduation rates as of 2014.
The website broadeducation.org stated nearly 2/3 of 8th graders scored below proficient in math. That's 2/3 throughout the entire country. That's a very huge chunk of people who one day decide the outcome of our country. Shouldn't we be advancing rather than retracting back to the Stone Age? This website just sheds more light on the dark corner, showing us that education is not at the bragging peak we believe it to be in. Now, finding this out concerned us, seeing as how in 2 years, we'd be searching for a college to start attending after high school. However, we believe it may not be entirely the education system's fault, seeing as how the U.S. is said to be the second most ignorant country in the world, according to RankingAmerica.com. The people of the U.S. are also at fault as to why the ranking of education is so low. Many are too ignorant to take in the education that was provided to them. Many take education for granted, which has caused the high school graduation percentage to rise at a much slower and very low rate. The high school graduation rate has actually gone up from 78% to 80% as of 2014, which is very good. But I feel that with the education system we currently have, we should have been at that point years ago. According to DoSomething.org, 1.2 million students drop out each year. That's one student every 26 seconds, 7,000 a day. Personally, we were shocked when we first read about that. 1.2 million students. 1.2 million ideas that will never be heard due to not having a high school diploma. 1.2 million people who could have changed the U.S. for the better that will no longer have a chance. Apparently, the dropout rate actually went down 3%, from 12.1 to 7.4, according to DoSomething.org. So at least something was done right. But the one question I want everyone to think about is, whose fault is it for the kids whose education was taken for granted? The parents, teachers, or the students themselves?
One thing that really opened my eyes and my mind is the fact that a lot of the American population takes the education given to them for granted. Yet, in other countries, many of the children would risk their own lives for the education we take for granted. Literally. For example, in Mexico, a while ago, 43 children were captured. Here's an image showing a few of the children that are missing. A month later, they were found in a ditch near a river. Apparently, they were tortured and burned alive, all because they wanted the education that many of us take for granted. This is the ditch they were found in. They were brutally murdered because they wanted their education. How many people do you know that would risk their own lives for an education? Not many, I'm guessing. Lastly, we believe something should be done or changed to raise the chances of a changed and improved country, not only for everyone in this room, but for all future generations as well. Whether the education itself should be changed, something similar to South Korea's or Switzerland's, that will no longer teach basic subjects such as math, reading, or science, etc., but will instead begin teaching the things that are actually needed in life. Or should awareness be brought up to higher organizations or maybe even nationwide? Who knows? But what we do know is that change for a higher education, to raise high school graduation rates and lower dropout rates, all begins with us, the younger generation. We are role models for the youngest. They look up to us. They want to be us. Whatever you do affects what the future generations do. So if you become a dropout thief, they will look up to that as acceptable, and they will see a dropout thief as a role model. And pretty soon, they too will be a dropout thief when it's their turn to be in your position. We must be the ones to change. We must be the ones to raise graduation rates, lower dropout rates, and change the future of the US. We do that, then we cause the younger generation to follow in our footsteps, to really cause change. Let's raise high school graduation rates from 80% to 100%. Lower dropout rates from 1.2 million to 0. Let's create change for the future of our country, but most importantly, for our own future. Education can only improve if we improve. Just remember one thing, it all depends on us. Thank you.